You guys have been really enjoying the Metroidvania videos, and I'm always trying to keep things fresh so things don't get repetitive. I like switching up the style and the vibe every time. So today, I'm bringing 12 indie Metroidvania games that are absolutely perfect. And yeah, no Hollow Knight here. Amazing game, but way too obvious. Let's start with a Metroidvania that's really outside the usual formula. Gato Roboto puts you in control of a tiny, adorable cat piloting a full combat mech suit, and somehow it works perfectly. The game calls itself a Metroidvania, and honestly, that describes the vibe really well. Fast, quirky, stylish, and way more charming than it has any right to be. After a messy crash landing, caused by the cat herself pressing random buttons, Kiki becomes the only one able to explore a dangerous planet and rescue her trapped captain. The twist is that she can leave the mech at any time to crawl through tight tunnels, climb walls, swim through areas the suit can't enter, and reach secret spots. But outside the armor, she dies in one hit, so every small decision matters. You'll also get to pilot other machines like a submarine and a massive cannon, which helps break the pacing and adds more personality to the adventure. Visually, the game nails that sharp retro 1-bit look with smooth animations and several unlockable color palettes that give each zone a different tone. The electronic soundtrack leans into a fun sci-fi mood that fits the constant back and forth movement through the map. Combat feels snappy and satisfying, with responsive controls and some surprisingly fun boss encounters, even if the overall progression is a bit linear for a Metroidvania. It's a short game, around 2 hours, but that's part of its charm. Gato Roboto doesn't waste your time. It's compact, funny, stylish, and full of personality from start to finish. If you want a quick Metroidvania that tries something different without losing the fun, this one is absolutely worth playing. Now let's jump into something way more intense. A robot named F.I.T, one of the wildest and most impressive indie Metroidvanias ever made, especially when you realize the entire game was created by just one developer, Matt Bittner. He handled everything: programming, level design, art, music, and story, while his wife took care of marketing. The whole project is basically a love letter to classic 16-bit sci-fi, packed with passion and chaos. The setup is simple but striking. A peaceful machine civilization is suddenly wiped out by a massive cosmic creature known as the Mega Beast and its army of flesh abominations. You play as a lone robot diving deeper and deeper into the planet to fight back, and the pixel art cutscenes set a dark, dramatic tone right from the start. Gameplay-wise, the Super Metroid inspiration is obvious in the best possible way. Tight platforming, lots of shooting, hidden upgrades, and rooms full of grotesque monsters. But the twist here is huge. Every single run is procedurally generated. When you die, you restart from zero with a brand new map, new item layouts, new routes, and even different bosses. No two playthroughs are ever the same, giving the game an insane replay factor. You constantly find new power-ups, buy items from hidden robot merchants, and even donate offerings to strange robot gods to unlock perks for future runs. Boss fights are big, brutal, and completely unpredictable thanks to the randomized structure. If you want a fast, brutal, endlessly replayable Metroidvania with heavy sci-fi vibes and tons of personality, a robot named F.I.T deserves a spot on your list. Some Metroidvanias try to impress with huge, complex maps, but Islets takes a simpler, more charming route, and that's exactly why it works so well. It's a cozy, hand-drawn indie adventure set across floating islands, created by a single developer who clearly loves the 16-bit era. You play as Eco, a tiny cat-like warrior whose airship crashes onto one of several drifting islands. Armed with a sword and a bow that recharges with each hit, you explore each region looking for ways to reconnect the scattered islands using old magnetic devices. Every island acts like its own mini-world, packed with monsters, secrets, shortcuts, and upgrades that slowly expand your movement options. The gameplay is smooth and fast, with platforming that feels great from the start. Each island introduces fresh twists, clouds you slash to chain mid-air jumps, timed star switch puzzles, chase sequences, and rooms filled with traps that demand precision. The boss fights are easily the highlight, creative, multi-phase, and challenging in a fun, satisfying way. As a Metroidvania, it's lighter and more linear than usual. Backtracking exists, but it's never the focus. Some abilities show up only a handful of times, and the exploration is straightforward. Still, the charm of its hand-drawn art, the relaxing tone, and the fun mix of action and platforming make it a delightful experience from start to finish. If you want a beautiful, simple, and uplifting Metroidvania that plays great and never overstays its welcome, Islets is an excellent pick. Salt and Sanctuary is one of those games you instantly recognize, and if this were your first contact with it, you definitely want to play it. It mixes Metroidvania exploration with Souls-style difficulty in a dark, hand-drawn world that feels harsh from the moment you wake up on a mysterious island after a shipwreck. The art style from Ska Studios sets the tone right away. Gray, dirty, oil painting visuals, twisted enemies, ruined castles, caves, forests, and eerie lighting. The sound design is equally heavy, metal clashing, blood splashing, and music that feels lonely and unsettling. It's gritty in the best way possible. Salt is the core of the game. You earn it by defeating enemies and use it to level up or upgrade gear. If you die, your salt stays with the creature that killed you, and you only get it back by defeating it. Shrines act as your safe zones, where you level up, call NPCs, and shape your build through a huge skill tree that supports knights, rogues, casters, and hybrids. With hundreds of weapons and armors, builds feel genuinely different. The world works exactly like a true Metroidvania. Interconnected areas, shortcuts, secrets, and upgrades that unlock new paths. There's no map, so you learn the island by exploring and paying attention to the environment. Surprisingly effective and atmospheric. The bosses are the highlight. More than 20 massive, brutal fights with unique attack patterns. You'll roll, dodge, die, and retry, but the challenge is fair and satisfying. There's also local co-op and a tougher New Game Plus. This one always sparks debate. Is Carrion really a Metroidvania? For me, yes. The structure may be small and contained, but the world is fully interconnected, blocked by puzzles and abilities you unlock as you escape the human base. And that's what makes the game so fascinating. You control the creature itself, sliding across walls, ceilings, vents, tentacles grabbing every surface with disgusting fluidity. Those tentacles are the core of the gameplay. You can grab humans, throw bodies, pull switches, break metal doors, fire spikes, and solve puzzles. The combat is pure chaos, and that's the charm. Terrorizing and devouring humans feels disturbingly satisfying, almost therapeutic in a twisted way. As you grow stronger, the campaign gradually pulls you into the monster's mindset. You start enjoying the fear your presence creates. Enemies eventually become tougher, carrying flamethrowers, shields, and drones, forcing you to mix stealth with brutal ambushes. Blink, and the monster disappears into a vent, only to reappear behind someone screaming. That's the rhythm of Carrion: hit fast, vanish faster. The atmosphere is immaculate. The pixel art is claustrophobic and detailed, and the sound design is outstanding. Sticky tentacle noises, terrified screams, bones crunching, and a soundtrack that knows exactly when to explode or when to stay silent. Exploration is where the game is weaker, the backtracking can feel repetitive, upgrades beyond the essential don't matter much, and there's no map. Still, the campaign is short, intense, and unforgettable. Choosing a good Metroidvania gets harder every day with so many indies releasing. Haiku the Robot stands out right away, not only because it looks charming, but because its movement and structure resemble Hollow Knight. That's no coincidence. The solo developer Jordan Morris openly said the game was heavily inspired by it, but Haiku still brings its own ideas. The game takes place in a post-apocalyptic underground world, where only machines survived a nuclear collapse. You control Haiku, a small robot exploring tunnels filled with corrupted machines infected by a computer virus. As expected from the genre, you unlock new abilities to access hidden areas, fight enemies, and uncover secrets. Some zones, challenges, and even certain atmospheres feel extremely close to Hollow Knight, but that's also part of the appeal for many players. What really sets Haiku apart are two mechanics: the energy gauge and the repair system. The energy bar fills when you use abilities like dash, and once it overloads, Haiku needs a short cooldown, making combat more strategic. Healing works differently too. By holding a button, Haiku repairs himself with metal scraps dropped by enemies. These scraps also act as currency used to buy upgrades, keys, and passive chips. This creates a constant loop. You need scraps to survive, but collecting them means more backtracking. Luckily, you don't need every upgrade to finish the game. Visually, Haiku is clean, pleasant, and has its own charm, even if the color palette could vary more. Despite the similarities to Hollow Knight, the mechanical theme and unique systems give it personality. Set in the dieselpunk world of Torch City, F.I.S.T follows Rayton, a former Resistance pilot who left the war behind after losing everything in the conflict against the Legion. Living quietly, he's forced back into battle when the Iron Dogs kidnap his friend Bear. Armed only with the mechanical fist that survived his old combat mech, Rayton sets out on a rescue mission that quickly grows into something far bigger, uncovering secrets from his past and a new threat rising in the shadows. Combat is the game's biggest highlight. The Iron Fist delivers fast, heavy combos inspired by fighting games, and new weapons like the drill and the whip. Expand your options with technical and creative moves. Parrying demands precise timing. Blocking at the exact moment of an incoming attack stuns the enemy and opens brutal finishers. Exploration follows the classic Metroidvania style, with huge interconnected areas full of shortcuts, secrets, puzzles, and routes that require abilities such as double jump, wall jump, or underwater movement. Upgrades and collectibles are hidden everywhere, making progression constantly rewarding. The story is strengthened by charismatic characters and fully voiced cutscenes, giving emotional weight to Rayton's journey and the bonds he tries to protect. There are a few issues, like a steep learning curve for players not used to combo-based combat and occasional loading hitches when entering new rooms. Still, the game delivers solid action, stylish visuals, and a world full of personality. F.I.S.T stands as one of the most striking Metroidvania experiences of its generation. Iconoclasts is a Metroidvania-style action-adventure packed with puzzles, fast combat, exploration, and memorable boss fights, all created almost entirely by one developer, Joachim Konjak Sandberg. Over nearly a decade, his passion shows in the gorgeous pixel art, fluid animations, expressive characters, and cutscenes that feel like a small theater play unfolding on screen. You play as Robin, a young mechanic living under the oppressive theocratic regime known as the One Concern, where citizens cannot choose their profession or touch the world's main energy source, ivory. By secretly helping people, Robin ends up hunted by elite agents Black and White, and is pulled into a conflict far bigger than she expected. Gameplay mixes platforming, clever environmental puzzles, ranged attacks, and wrench-based mechanics. Even though exploration uses interconnected areas like a Metroidvania, the story flows in a more linear, narrative-driven way. You unlock new abilities, find hidden rooms, and face enemies that require different approaches. Tweaks, small equipable upgrades, exist but offer minimal impact and are mostly optional. The boss battles are a highlight, creative, varied, and visually striking, often mixing action with light puzzle elements. The soundtrack also shines, blending retro-inspired melodies with atmospheric tracks that match every moment. What truly elevates Iconoclasts is its mature, emotional story. It questions authority, faith, rigid beliefs, and the cost of obedience, presenting characters with clashing ideologies and real consequences. Even with a few underused systems, it remains a beautiful, clever, and unforgettable Metroidvania experience crafted with heart. SteamWorld Dig 2 picks up right after the first game, with Dorothy setting out to find Rusty after he mysteriously disappears near a mining town shaken by constant earthquakes. The plot is simple, but the world building is charming and helps expand the SteamWorld universe in a really fun way. What makes this sequel stand out is how much bigger and more varied the world feels. Instead of a single vertical mine, you explore deserts, toxic caves, mechanical ruins, lava temples, and several interconnected areas that lean strongly into that Metroidvania-style progression. Challenge caves scattered around the map offer platforming trials, puzzles, and secrets that break the mining loop and keep the adventure fresh. The visuals are a huge upgrade. Cleaner animations, detailed backgrounds, atmospheric lighting, and that stylish tech western identity the series is known for. The soundtrack by El Cuervo fits perfectly with the mysterious, dusty tone of the world. Dorothy's upgrades make exploration faster and more satisfying, from mobility tools to digging enhancements. The gear system adds small bonuses that help customize your playstyle. While the game is easier and less punishing than the first, it stays extremely addictive thanks to the constant rewards, secrets, and smooth pacing. Now, speaking of the game in a different way, it's currently just $1 on Steam today. So if you're watching this video right when it goes live, chances are you can still grab it for that price, and honestly, it's one of the best deals you'll ever find. Laika Aged Through Blood is a brutal, stylish, and deeply atmospheric Motorvania, a Metroidvania built around physics-based motorcycle gameplay. You play as Laika, a warrior who revives instantly every time she dies, riding through a devastated desert ruled by a violent army of bird soldiers. The story is harsh, filled with trauma and loss, but the game quickly shifts toward what truly defines it: fast, chaotic, skill-based action on two wheels. Everything revolves around the bike. You accelerate, flip in the air, block bullets with the back wheel, and recharge your gun or deflect projectiles by performing flips. Time slows down whenever you shoot, letting you line up perfect mid-air kills. The flow becomes addictive, jumping off ramps, rotating the bike into a defensive angle, firing in slow motion, and landing smoothly before accelerating into the next fight. It's a deadly dance built on timing, instinct, and momentum. The world is stunning in a melancholic way. Dusty deserts, rusted war machines, fading ruins, and villages with poetic names like Where We Live and Where We Dream. Everything feels like it's slowly turning to dust. The soundtrack is a highlight, delivered as a playlist of cassette tapes by the fictional band The Wastelanders, with soft vocals that contrast beautifully with the violence around you. Not everything is perfect. Fast travel points are limited, some mechanics demand repetition, and certain tasks could feel smoother. But these issues are small compared to the game's identity and emotional punch. Minoria is a dark, combat-focused Metroidvania, and a clear spiritual successor to Momodora, carrying over its harsh difficulty, intricate maps, and somber themes. The story unfolds in the Kingdom of Ramazia during the Fourth Witch War, where witches gain forbidden power through rituals banned by the Church. You control Sister Samila, a warrior nun sent to stop these ceremonies and rescue the kidnapped princess. Exploration follows the classic Metroidvania structure, a large interconnected map with areas locked behind keys or new abilities. Enemies are fierce and can kill Samila in just a few hits, pushing you to rely on precise sword strikes, well-timed dodges, and difficult but rewarding parries. Incenses offer offensive spells or passive boosts, though Samila's arsenal grows slowly and can feel limited later on. Boss fights are a highlight, intense, stylish, and demanding, with unique rewards for defeating them without taking damage. The challenge is constant, partly because save points are far apart. Dying often means replaying long stretches, which can be frustrating, but also adds to the tension. Backtracking isn't always smooth. Shortcuts are scarce, you can't view the full map at once, and fast travel only unlocks near the end. Visually, Minoria trades pixel art for hand-painted backgrounds and cel-shaded 3D characters. The atmosphere is gloomy and medieval, with eerie gardens, ruined halls, and corrupted churches. Some animations feel stiff, but the world's mood is strong, supported by quiet piano and violin tracks. Lore notes reveal a morally gray narrative where the church hides corruption and the witches might not be as heretical as claimed. An Elysian Tale is another great Metroidvania with RPG elements that's currently on sale for just $3. So if you've never played it, this is the perfect moment to finally grab it. Now, talking about the game, Dust is a beautifully animated 2D Metroidvania created almost entirely by one person, mixing fast combat, exploration, and gorgeous hand-drawn environments. You play as Dust, a warrior who wakes up with no memories in the world of Falana. Soon, he's joined by Ahra, a mystical talking sword, and Fidget, its tiny flying guardian. Together, they set out to uncover Dust's past and the destiny tied to him. Exploration follows the classic Metroidvania structure: interconnected zones, hidden rooms, and new abilities like double jump and sliding that unlock blocked paths. You'll travel through forests, snowy mountains, ruins, and glowing caverns, all beautifully drawn, with dynamic rain and snow adding even more charm. Combat is fast and flashy. Dust strings sword combos easily, launches enemies, dodges precisely, and uses Fidget's magic to power up the devastating dust storm attack, turning simple projectiles into huge, swirling blasts. As you progress, you level up, raise stats, and craft equipment like rings, armor, and pendants. The game isn't flawless, level layouts can feel repetitive, secrets aren't always exciting, and combat becomes a bit easy. But Dust's art, soundtrack, and fluid gameplay make it a memorable and stylish experience. And that's it for today's list, guys. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to hit that like button because it really helps the channel grow. I've been posting every week and bringing more hidden gems, underrated Metroidvanias, pixel art masterpieces, and all those crazy deals that pop up out of nowhere. Thanks for watching, thanks for the support. And seriously, you all have been amazing these last weeks. See you in the next video, and stay tuned. The next list is fire.